Hello, everyone. All right, we're going to be picking this back up. Hopefully, this is going to do decently well. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. It is what I want to do. This is the same fort that it has always been. My corn is growing. My stuff is happening. Same things that it was when it last was on. My only biggest regret at this point, like watching this, is I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, man, I really wish I'd done just a little bit more with the workshop. But at the time I was putting this all together, this is what I'm thinking about. I'm thinking about animals. I so regret that. I really wish I had not put any time into animals. I've done it several times now. This is the only time I've ever done it on the recording side, and it is definitely something I regret. Animals are just a huge time sink. Don't get me wrong, it gives me lots of materials, which is cool, I guess. The downside is that it cost me a lot of materials too, so there's really no upside to all of this. I was also hoping she would date John Harper, but she never does. Bummer. I really wish I worked on the workshop instead. Maybe grown some devil's thread. Maybe. But honestly, I think my clothing situation wasn't that bad. See, I'm about to start hunting, kill some animals, gather some, animal hide, to get the clothing going. There's a mod out there that gives you cotton. Honestly, I'm really wanting cotton right now. I know that doesn't sound exciting, but the problem with Devil's Thread is super valuable. I don't know if you guys know this, but I've seen stuff that suggests it's some of the best armor in the game, actually. I'm not really sure myself. What I do know is that it is definitely not bad. Anyway, yay, they had a nice little party. They got to know Johnston. Wow, I just realized there's a T. Yeah, I was paying attention. I knew that. Anyway, yeah. I really wish there was a low-value clothing item that was easy and readily reproducible without hunting or raising animals. Oh, my first blight. Oh, no. I have had really awful luck with blights. I now know that they can happen without... See, I'm about to disable the growing zones. It was an experiment. See, I deleted it right there, thinking that maybe it'll stop it, and it doesn't. I actually... See, I'm like, can I wake people up and get them to go out there and cut down the crap? It does affect it on this map. I never have issues on this map ever again. But very quickly, it spreads and causes... See, they stop with 3 plants! Why? It drives me crazy. But anyway, I got rid of the growing zones in the hope that it would prevent it. And for this game, it actually did work. But in my new game, it is not working, which is a bit of a bummer. As a concept, it works reasonably well, but it doesn't functionally work. I was hoping I could use this mechanic to basically allow me to circumvent the game's aggro kind of stuff. And conceptually, it works, but practically, it has some problems. And see, the thing that's bothering me right now, even as I'm doing this, is that stupid message about tattered apparel on the right-hand side there. I hate that message. It drives me crazy. Seriously. I just want my people to wear clothes. I want them to throw away the bad clothes, and I want them to wear the good clothes. And I don't want, 20,000 outfits. Because 20,000 outfits equals a lot of value, by the way. Even 20 outfits creates a lot of worth for your fort, and that worth translates to aggro, and that aggro translates to problems down the line. You will see. Right, see, I've got 4 people. I think, honestly, you can get up to 8 or 10 if you keep the fort minimalist. No extra this, no extra that. Very minimal, no fancy stuff. Just everything very bare bones, very basic, low value. I believe you can have a functional fort that won't draw huge raids. And this is a big deal because that actually gives you all the tools and resources you need in order to, well, kick butt and take names. And why is it paused? Oh boy. I thought I caught all of these. No, apparently I didn't. I was editing these out earlier, I thought. Famous last words. Okay. I must have missed that one. Sorry about that. Anyway, if I could grow cotton or any other low-value cloth item, I could then successfully control that and use that to help limit the production as well, like I've been saying. And that would work really well. I don't think the game plays well with what I'm dealing with right now. And I'm like, as I'm talking, I'm really tempted to go ahead and build a fort with like 10 people starting, and they're all aesthetic, and we just build some really crappy little rooms and stuff, and everything's really miserable and tight and cramped, and we don't have a lot of food, and we don't have a lot of this, and we live very minimalist, very basic, very low key, and watch what happens with the raids. You know what? I think I will do it. I've already got everything planned out for this week, so this will be a while for you guys. Sorry, I like the idea of doing this all live and updating it one thing at a time, yada, 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 making it really sharp. But honestly, it's Thursday right now, and I woke up this morning, and I didn't have any of the stuff developed. I didn't have any of the stuff done, and I was so freaking stressed. It was not funny. Like, it was just stressing me out endlessly. If you notice there, you can see how I actually just cook the bare minimum of food. Yes, the rice won't spoil in any meaningful way, guys. It will take forever for it to go bad. So you can just dump it and leave it there, and it won't go bad. And you cook 12 meals. That's 3 meals a day. Yes, and your people will eat it more than quickly enough that the meals will never go bad. I do 3 because your people technically eat 2. But if you do 3 times your people, then it just gives you a little bit of buffer, just a little. That way your cook doesn't have to constantly be working nonstop. I feel like if you do just the number of meals you need for the day, your cook cooks too much, too frequently. You could probably bump it up to 4 times the number of people, and it doesn't mess things up too bad. I doubt you would get any spoiling issues. That would be the only issue. I don't think the game would cause it to spoil. Famous last words there, because I haven't actually done it yet. And if I haven't done it, then, I don't know for sure. But anyway, the people are really tolerant. They're really, really easy to manage. The game's given that, what is that called? Where the people go wander around and then they blow off steam and they calm down and they come back inside. I don't remember what that's called. That mechanic basically prevents people from having meltdowns. I do believe I had one fort, maybe this video fort, I think, but I don't really remember because this is a really long playthrough. I sank a lot of time into this. Sorry, just thinking about all the time I sank into it and going, oh man, that was a lot. Even as I'm watching it, I'm watching the corn. I like corn. Corn produces huge yields. The counterpoint is it grows so freaking slowly. It is very prone to blight. See, now I get rid of all the zones because I'm just like, you know what? What if we just get rid of these and we don't treat them like my property? Wonder what happens with the game. We just go around, clear things out, make it nice. I like that. It's a nice touch. I don't know if it's helping. The fact that I never see a blight again in this game makes me think it helped. But I have another game, and I'm pretty sure I did the same thing, and I'm pretty sure it got blighted. So it maybe helps, it maybe doesn't. And more specific, I cannot be, because we just don't know until you try it. You never know. This is a nice little fort. I just realized Johnson's sleeping on the floor still. Whoops. Johnston. I really should have focused on training Johnston as a craftsman, by the way. Or one of them as a craftsman, and have Johnston replace one of the other people. It doesn't matter which way. 2 craftsmen would have been better at this point. But I really was thinking I would find a 3rd or 4th person to add to this colony. I did not think I would go this far into the game and not find a new person to add to the colony. Little did I know, I would basically spend the rest of the game with these 4 people. I got awful choices, and I was just like, man, every single one of them had like one of these really obvious negative traits, not like a we can put up with it trait. It's like, no, you read the trait and you're just like, nope, just no. And every single one of them had something like that, and it was just like, it doesn't matter what I do. See, I had the room down there set up, ready to go for new people to add. I think I even captured a guy here early on, and he just kept going berserk because the room was so awful. Yeah, I probably should have added a real bed, but I didn't. Maybe a floor. That one's pretty entertaining because I successfully contain him. It's a little lame and a little cheap, and it's not something I'm really thrilled about. I do like the fact that wood doors are actually kind of hard for people to break through. In the real world, a wood door would be reasonably breakable. Yeah. Once you move past the wood door, the doors really should not be that breakable. I can't think of any kind of heavier material type door that would be breakable at all. And so I prefer the Strong Walls mod. I think it does affect the door's strength, because I think it affects the material strength. So stone materials are now a little more resilient against beating damage. And you'll see a couple things that it's a little bit annoying, and I really wish I could have fixed it, but it's slightly better in my opinion. Enemy characters can still go through the walls pretty easy. It's just like melee attack kind of things just don't have much effect. You need the right tool to do the right job, shockingly, right? Oh my goodness, it's crazy. See, I love this character, jogger, steadfast. I'm just like, okay, what do I want to do? And I make the worst decision I have ever made, which is, screw it, let's try animals. What's the harm in animals? Oh, man. There is so much harm in animals. At least I started hunting them first. That was not as cataclysmic a decision. What are you doing right? Oh, I have so many hunters. I am really lucky they didn't shoot themselves there. Man, everyone is running in front of each other. Huh. Anyway, I go out and hunt. Was I low on food? No, I have tons of food. Bloop. I'm just getting clothes because I'm tired of that tattered apparel thing. Yeah, I'm getting a mod that gives me at least the cotton. I had a medieval times mod. I really like medieval times mod. It just changes certain things that drive me absolutely bonkers. For whatever reason, what are those things called? Death stings? It adds these big bugs that show up every single game. And I don't mind it, as an event mechanic kind of thing to help spice things up if I'm wanting, actual aggression and aggro right at the beginning of the game. It's kind of cool. The problem isn't that. The problem is it's like I try to do the classic gameplays and it still shows up. It's I don't mind it showing up with what are those guys? The 5 soldiers? But it also shows up on the tribals. It ruins it for me. So, yeah. I think it's called Medieval Times. It's a pretty good mod if you've never used it. It's just not my thing. I would love some more low-level improvements of quality of life improvements, low-level quality of life. I don't just want, we're going to help you with XYZ. It's these little things, you do them and they help clean up this or that and make the game just a little bit more manageable. See, look at that. I'm making clothes in the attempt to hopefully get things under control. And you want to know what? He spends his inspired creativity on a t-shirt of crappy material. Ugh, so annoying. Anyway, clothing. Clothing in this game reminds me more of Dwarf Fortress than anything else. Because you want to know what is the biggest pain in the butt in Dwarf Fortress? Clothing. You know what is the biggest pain in the butt in this game? Clothing. I'm half tempted to also start an aesthetic nudist colony just to get away from the freaking clothes. It drives me nuts. Like, it really drives me crazy. I cannot stand it at all. Sorry, guys. I know. I'm getting really crazy here, right? Wow. Strong emotions. Dear me. Can't have that now, can we? Anyway, the whole thing isn't, like, that big of a deal. But, man, it really does make me kind of think, right now, nudist sounds kind of useful, just because then you don't have to worry about the clothes. Your people are happy walking around naked. They do get the chills and all that stuff, so, man, there's some bad sides to it. At several points through this fort, I definitely had more than enough clothes for anyone that was wearing clothes that were ratty to take them off and change them for new ones. And that stupid tattered apparel thing is still there. See, now I can force Ryder to wear something. Yes? I can force Ryder to wear, XYZ. See, this just all annoys me. Do this until you have 4 t-shirts. Do this until you have 3 pants, 3 shirts, or whatever. The whole thing is just, so annoying. And I want low-value clothes. I don't want high-value clothes. This is actually very important. The low value keeps the fort from drawing attention from big stuff, which is how you stay alive longer. Now, I'm going to take a brief detour because, one of the things that at the time, I was modeling this after another fort I built, and that one did really well, but it was actually more naturally isolated. Almost half the map was underground, and that fort, it was really easy to wall off one section and keep it in, from drawing problems from the AI. And it wasn't nearly as big as this one. If I ever did a fort this size and in this location... Oh, and by the way, I picked the map literally because it looked like most of the map would be underground. It just came out looking like this, which is a bit annoying. So I wasn't trying for whatever this is. Anyway, if I was to do this fort again, I would actually add doors on every side. Someone made a comment. Someone made a comment about how the AI does not like to use doors when they're attacking. They actually will try to avoid the doors. And at first I didn't believe them. And the more I play this game, the more I'm suspicious. They're right. Very right. I think the best way to handle this, and here I really wish I could control where I'm looking at. This is the difference. If I could control what we're looking at, I would right now be going back to that entrance area and showing you guys, because eventually I set it up one way, and I'm pretty sure I pissed off huge chunks of the game's engine doing what I did. Pretty sure. You'll see it eventually whenever we get to that part of the video. This is still, I don't even have the full wall built. I really wish I had added more doors. What happens is basically it takes way too long to get certain parts of the map. And while that's not such a big deal, they're too hot. A really easy solution is not the air conditioner. The best solution is that stupid passive cooler thing, because you only tend to get a little bit of hot season. And again, this assumes you're not like, super, super hot. If you're in a super hot biome, it doesn't work as well. If you're just in a semi-hot biome, a passive cooler really does the job. It keeps things cool for like a day or two. It doesn't consume much wood. I think I start building them. I don't know. I think I do. Because I was looking at the trees just now and the heat stroke and thinking, come on, build me those passive coolers here. Oh, why am I doing that? Yeah, whatever. Yeah. I really think I built the doors. Because it's 32. It's not hot, but it is definitely on the warmer side. And see, now I'm thinking about what to do. I'm a little bored. This is really the problem. Yes, more than anything else. The problem is I'm looking at this fort and I'm getting bored. I really wish that was an exaggeration, but it's not. That will kill many. Ooh, a raid. All right. I've got 4 people, very little to anything of value. And guess how many people show up in the raid? A single person. Shocking, I know. You would not believe how many... I checked to make sure I have my wood spikes. Yes, I do. Good. Okay, everyone, we go stand over here and just wait for the guy to step on the spikes and die. Let's go. And I'll point this out. Eventually, I end up with a more walled solution. But honestly, I feel like the AI is far more manageable this way. See, he goes around the walls, doesn't even try, and literally just steps exactly onto the traps, exactly the way I need him to. And the people also said, like, the AI charges furniture, which I can't believe they did that, because it seems like a pretty bad design choice. But if that's true, that basically means these are, it's Furniture Destroyer in Dwarf Fortress. Isn't that the tag? I believe it's a Furniture Destroyer. Which means they're pretty easy to manage. And instead of building this huge wall, I would basically build huge walls with doors. And then if I'm worried about enemies attacking it, I would put down like a piece of furniture and a couple traps in such a way that they are more likely to go like into a small room. And inside the room are some traps and a piece of furniture, and bam, wham, slam. You got yourself some dead people and very little to no risk to your fort as a whole. And you see, this is the thing. Honestly, I don't like the turrets in this game. Every time I've used the turrets, don't get me wrong, the uranium mini turret is really pretty solid, really pretty basic, and it is durable enough. It's better than nothing in a heavy-duty raid. What I mean by this is, this fort, I have this huge open area. And everything I've been saying, yes, I've been talking about how it's like I'd build off little sections. I would put in lots more doors. I would change pretty much everything I'm doing in this fort. And I'm saying this for a reason, because basically what you want is you want a lot of traps. I know that doesn't sound exciting. I know that doesn't sound fun. But man, those stupid little steel traps, they will snap up the enemy for you in such a way that makes the game a lot easier. And see, yeah, I totally just boxed myself in. And at the time of doing this, I knew I was kind of boxing myself in. I wasn't like hugely surprised by what happens. But I really wanted to try it out. And it's kind of like the animal thing. I've already made a video before I made this recording. The actual video recording, not just the audio. I had already made a comment about how I hate animals. And so it's like, I was just like, I'll give them another shot. I'll try it again. What's the harm? Well, the harm is they suck. Like, big time. absolutely not worth it. See this pathing right here? That's the issue. If there's a cougar or a bear in that area right there and it decides to attack that colonist, they are dead. That doesn't happen on this fort, but I've had it happen on 2 different forts. And it is enough of a thing that has happened enough that it is very much a real issue. I've got the great bow. You guys probably don't know this because you're all just like, what does that matter? But the great bow is my single favorite weapon so far. It is not powerful, or it is not the best in the game, but it is reasonably powerful, not very valuable, and it has a solid range and a solid firing rate. If I have 4, 5, or 6 people with great bows, even going up against rifles, as long as my people are in a more secure position, yes, behind defenses, and their people are not behind defenses and or hitting traps, I'm 100% safe. It doesn't matter if they bring rifles, it doesn't matter if they bring shotguns or Molotov cocktails. It works really well. And again, this is a little different from the other fort because I decided to go with like a turret build. The other fort that I had that went really well, and I never recorded it, that one I went with turrets or traps, and it worked. Night and day difference. There is no comparison. There is no like, I don't know. No. There is no value whatsoever to doing like the turrets and the traditional shooting box. What you really want is you want your enemy wandering through a room full of traps, because they will put down the enemy every single time. The reason I do the fort this way is one of the things I had problems with on that other fort was actually like rabid animals. And even here, like right now, recording this, traps aren't quite as good at dealing with the rabid animals as I would like them to be. And so, I can point it out. And we're going to need to be wrapping this up here in a minute, guys. But like the rabid animals were just a big enough problem. I really thought it would be a clever way to deal with this. See, I'm starting to think about, hey, I want to build a big area with lots of animals. That would be really cool, right? Wrong. I so regret it, guys. Maybe if hold on. I have to add a caveat. I don't know what happened to my animals that caused them to be unable to form a caravan. If I knew what was causing that problem, I would not regret having done the animals. My goal was thinking, I could get a caravan and I can travel to other cities, and that would be different. I've never done that before. I've still never done caravans, guys. Never, ever done them. I don't see like a pressing need. Actually, after this fort, it's more of a thing. I'm just like, what's the point? Why? I really don't see any value to caravans at all. Don't get me wrong. I'm sure it's a mechanic. I'm sure it works. I'm sure you can do something with it. But why? I don't see a value. The best thing I've seen is outposts. That's pretty cool. Basically, Outposts is a mod where you can take people inside your fort and send them and build an outpost, which is apparently a real gameplay mechanic. It just doesn't really do anything. It just moves them out of your fort. And Outpost basically means that you can get like a little more control over what they do outside your fort. Like apparently in the base game, an outpost makes money. See, I don't know. And the mod Outposts allows them to do other things, like instead of making money, they can damage enemies who are attacking your main colony. Or maybe the enemy has to fight a different place and have a different battle altogether. And it looks interesting. There's some empire building mods that kind of look cool. I've never done them, but they do look kind of fun, and that would at least add more significance to the world map. I'm just saying, like, right here, right now, I don't know the value of it. And honestly, every attempt to get anything positive out of going to the world map has failed. Yeah, I've been to other places, I guess. It's cool. Anyway, we'll pick it up later. I'm going to be wrapping this video up. You guys have a good one, I guess. If you're actually regularly watching, I'd love to hear from you, because honestly, I don't know if I have regular watchers on this.